Tesla's first American-made LFP cells are now powering Megapacks rolling out of the factory, tightening the domestic supply chain for utility-scale storage. This is Tesla Shorts Time, episode 559. Tesla has started deliveries of Megapacks that use LFP cells produced in the United States. The move reduces reliance on imported battery chemistry for large-scale energy projects. It also aligns production with domestic content incentives that affect project economics for utilities. The first units mark a shift toward localized cell manufacturing for the energy storage side of the business. Production of these cells supports broader efforts to meet demand from utilities seeking domestic content credits. The change comes as Tesla scales Megapack output to match growing grid storage orders. Now the focus turns to how Tesla is expanding its vehicle lineup for different markets. The extended wheelbase Model YL is now available for order in the United States. The variant adds rear legroom and cargo space compared with the standard model. Production is tied to existing lines rather than a separate facility. Customers in India can now schedule test drives of the Model Y premium rear-wheel drive variant. The launch expands the Model Y lineup for buyers seeking more interior room without moving to a different vehicle class. Both variants draw from current assembly capacity serving their respective regions. Vehicle hardware updates lead naturally into software changes rolling out to cars already on the road. The same software update is pushing Grok AI into vehicles already on the road. The rollout pairs a new trim option with an expanded in-car assistant feature. Production of the premium RWD version ties into existing assembly lines serving the Indian market. The summer update adds a zoom control that lets drivers adjust the scale of the on-screen camera view. Users can lock in a preferred distance for surrounding traffic display. The option gives owners direct control over how much of the environment appears on the screen during supervised driving. The feature appears in the visualization settings and works alongside existing camera feeds. Tesla Update 2026.20 brings several adjustments that owners have documented beyond the official release notes. The changes include refinements to interface behavior identified through direct testing after installation. Observers have compiled a list of differences between the published notes and what actually appears in the vehicles. Interface tweaks form the main category of updates that affect routine interactions with the car. The release continues the pattern of incremental improvements that reach cars without requiring a service visit. Vehicle software refinements set up a closer look at how supervised FSD is actually performing on public roads. Owners report that the latest supervised FSD version sometimes cancels turn signals about 100 feet before a turn. The same build also drives over elevated road sections at full speed instead of slowing, producing a hard landing on the far side. Drivers say they now intervene when they see those features ahead. The reports come from real-world testing on roads with both signal timing quirks and uneven pavement. An owner reported that supervised FSD managed the post-concert traffic jam at a large venue, completing the exit in roughly 90 minutes. Occasional accelerator nudges were needed in the densest sections. The drive showed both the system's ability to handle dense, chaotic flow and its remaining limits. The same driver described FSD handling the approach and entry into the Lincoln Tunnel on I-95 without intervention. Lane changes and merging occurred smoothly in heavy traffic. The account adds to the growing set of highway-specific owner reports for the current software version. Performance questions on public roads connect to a recent high-speed incident under review. A Tesla operating in supervised full self-driving mode lost its entire rear section in a crash in Issaquah. The incident is under review for how the vehicle responded in the moments before impact. Tesla has not released details on whether the driver had hands on the wheel or issued any override commands. The crash raises questions about structural performance in high-speed rear impacts while the system was engaged. Hardware and safety considerations shift focus to longer-term business model changes around FSD access. Subscription access to supervised FSD changes the timing of revenue recognition in ways that traditional vehicle sales never did. Instead of booking most of the margin at delivery, Tesla can now spread payments across months or years, while the same hardware continues to generate incremental service revenue. That shift lowers the capital intensity of each new customer, because the car is already built and the software is already written. The model also creates a feedback loop where usage data directly informs further software development without requiring additional hardware sales. The $99 monthly plan also alters the risk profile for buyers who are unsure about the technology. A driver can test the system without committing to a large upfront purchase, which widens the pool of potential users beyond early adopters. At the same time, the recurring stream gives Tesla visibility into future cash flows that can be modeled against development and regulatory costs. Retention becomes the central variable because owners can cancel at any time if the supervised experience falls short of expectations. If adoption scales, the model creates a margin layer that is less exposed to raw material price swings or factory utilization rates. The open question is whether enough owners will keep the subscription active once the novelty wears off and the remaining limitations of supervised operation become familiar. That retention rate will determine whether the program becomes a durable profit center or a temporary bridge to full unsupervised capability. Recurring revenue thinking leads into institutional capital flowing into the stock. Aberdeen Group added 803,088 shares during the second quarter, bringing its total to 5,109,041 shares valued at $2.149 billion. The position now represents 3.0172% of the firm's overall portfolio. The purchase was executed at a reported average price of $420.60. The increase shows continued institutional interest from a major UK wealth manager. Jim Cramer told viewers that conviction in Elon Musk remains the key variable for Tesla's valuation. He framed the company's multiple business lines as still tied to Musk's execution track record. The comment came amid ongoing questions about regulatory and competitive pressure. Cramer positioned the stock as one where belief in leadership outweighs near-term operational metrics. Analysts mapped overlapping manufacturing, supply chain, and capital allocation advantages that could arise from combining Tesla and SpaceX. The note highlights shared use of advanced materials and production techniques already proven at scale. No formal process has been confirmed by either firm. The discussion centers on potential efficiencies in engineering talent and facility utilization. Gene Munster argued that operational overlap in talent, facilities, and long-term capital projects supports a merged structure. He pointed to shared engineering culture and the ability to move resources between vehicle and aerospace programs. The view treats the idea as strategically coherent rather than speculative. Munster emphasized common approaches to scaling complex hardware systems. A recent analysis examined whether any current EV maker has replicated Tesla's combination of software iteration, vertical integration, and energy storage growth. It contrasts balance sheet strength and production discipline across the sector. No single company is named as the clear successor. The analysis focuses on how few peers match Tesla's pace of over-the-air updates and storage deployment. Institutional moves sit alongside Tesla's own efforts to shape policy and protect IP. Tesla filed a petition asking the Supreme Court to clarify how the USPTP should handle certain review proceedings. The request targets policies that affect how patent challenges move through the agency. A favorable ruling could change the timeline and cost of defending Tesla's intellectual property. The filing reflects growing complexity in protecting hardware and software innovations across vehicle and energy lines. Tesla Energy registered lobbying activity at Queen's Park focused on energy storage and grid projects. The filing lists meetings with provincial officials on permitting and procurement rules. The activity shows Tesla's continued push to expand Megapack deployments in Ontario. The registration covers discussions around storage incentives and interconnection processes. Policy work at home and abroad contrasts with everyday owner experiences on the road. A mother and daughter completed a 5,000-mile cross-country trip relying on standard household outlets for overnight charging. The Model Y handled the full distance without dedicated fast charging stops after dark. The account shows how level 1 charging can support long-distance travel when daily mileage stays moderate. The trip relied on consistent access to 110-volt outlets at each overnight stop. The experience demonstrates practical use cases for owners without access to home or public fast chargers on every leg. Before we go, the Supreme Court petition on patent review timelines will be worth watching for any early signals on how it might affect Tesla's broader intellectual property strategy. And that's a wrap on today's Tesla news. TSLA closed at $311.21, up $2.36, 0.8%. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating or review. It genuinely helps other Tesla fans find us. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you tomorrow. One more thing, if you liked today's episode, our sister show Planetarian Daily is worth a spot in your feed. Daily breakthroughs in science, health, and longevity. It's one of the NARA Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. The Do Positive Pod is the club for people who do something about it. Episodes and the dispatch wall at naranetwork.com, the DP Pod. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.